Botafogo Football Club beats PSG. What an amazing game that was. What an amazing game that was. Man, honestly, that game just showed me how much football there is in South America. That's why the Premier League and Europe at large just go there fishing for players. These guys are equally as good. Right now, we're talking about PSG, a team that has won the Champions League, that has won the league, that has won their domestic cup. They've won a treble, right? And right now, at this moment, nobody really wants to play PSG. We saw how they decimated Atletico Madrid, a team that is known to be very good in defense. They were beaten, fair and square. And this is a team that plays against Botafogo, a team that obviously one would believe they are inferior to this PSG side. But look at how they played. Look at how they perfected the 4-4-2. They were so resolute in defense. They were fast, just as fast as the PSG players. They had the strength to match them. Last season, right? And obviously the first game of the Club World Cup that I've watched, with PSG, what they had was they had the play, right? They had the strength, they had the speed. Once they lose the ball, it is how quick, they break you down and take the ball off of you and start the attack all over again. That's what they had. It always looked like every team they played against were not up to par. They were not up to par with them. But yesterday, what I saw was a team that were as good as PSG. Obviously, they're not good in quality. They're not good in quality. So that would mean that PSG will have most of the ball. But what Botafogo had was discipline. It was full focus. The whole 90 minutes, all they had was the full focus. You run. You don't let dead balls be. You run. You make sure that whoever is going for the ball, you go for the ball with them. Let them not be comfortable. Let them not just run alone. You run with them and you push them and you get the ball and you shoot. You know what I mean? So that's the type of ball they were playing. They were playing long balls. And that long ball obviously paid off when they, got a chance and they scored. And from there, obviously, it's 1-0. You're thinking they have, awakened a sleeping giant. Will PSG start, going to gear number 2 and do what we have come to know of them this season? Well, they have tried, but with the defensive discipline of Botafogo, they couldn't do it. And also, I'd like to send a shout out to their coach. When a few of his players were tired, he always brought in players to come and to come and get in those positions which he felt like they were now taking advantage on, and through him doing that, obviously he has managed to to fend off any attacks whatsoever from the PSG side. Bakola did not seem like the guy I know. Due was also substituted. He was just nowhere to be seen. Vitinha tried, but his balls were just always dead balls. He holds the ball, he moves. We know he's magnificent at that. But whenever he releases the ball, it doesn't get to where it's going because of the pressure. Because of the pressure. So they were not comfortable in receiving the ball because as soon as the ball comes, the man is there and he's already pushing you. He's already pushing you. So it's not easy. You're not getting the ball so easily. And that was something good. It looked like a final as well. It looked like I was watching a Champions League final. It looked like both teams wanted it. You should have seen when the ref obviously called the game to an end, how everybody just celebrated. It shows how much it meant to them. It shows how much focus they had the entirety of that game. They really wanted it and they got it. And from there alone, it just went on to, it rang to me just how brilliant South America is when it comes to football. I'm not going to say Brazil alone. Obviously, Botafogo is from Brazil. And them playing, obviously, they're showcasing Brazil. But that's just South America in its essence, right? I mean, I don't know. I'm not really good with math. But I know that at least 60% of the best players in Europe, obviously, are Brazilian or South American. You know what I mean? So I understand that. And obviously, I was hoping with Africa too will showcase how good we are. But teams like Al Ahly, they just keep disappointing you over and over again. I mean, that's the biggest team in Africa. They have the trophy cabinet, obviously, to support my statement. But when I saw them, they were playing like Sunderland. They were playing like Southampton. That's not the team we have come to know. And they're playing against a team such as Inter Miami. What is Inter Miami? Inter Miami is an old age home. There's nothing there, and they're failing to beat that team. So kudos to Sundowns, though. Kudos to Sundowns. That's what we expect of them. Of course, that's a very big team in South Africa, the best team in South Africa, also in contention to be the best team, of course, in Africa, and of course they that's what they're showing in this tournament. That's what they're showing in this tournament. They keep fighting for everything there is to fight. They're going to play Bournemouth. They're going to play Dortmund on Saturday. Let's see how they do with that, because they're the only team that has won right now from Africa. That's the only team that has won. So let's see on Saturday against Dortmund how well they do against that team. So yeah, that's all for us today. Club World Cup, that's where it is, man. It's enjoyable, especially with night games. Always when they play, afternoon games, it always looks like a friendly or something. But night games are just always amazing. It's always those head scratching, encounters. And we saw Messi also, in as much as he's no longer the player he once was, he still has the aura. He still has those pieces of magic in him, and whenever he produces them, we forget that he's 38, but he's an amazing player. It looks like class is permanent with him. He's just gonna go down as the same player when he came. So kudos to that. Please do not forget to like and subscribe and comment too on the games that you have watched and you have loved. Peace.